Всем привет! Я сейчас нахожусь в Шэньчжэне, и со мной рядом Джереми. Джереми хозяин нескольких лонгборд-брендов, и мы с ним сегодня пообщаемся, зададим ему интересные вопросы. Hey Jeremy, maybe you introduce yourself a little bit.
Sure.
Where are you from? How old are you? What about longboarding? How
Sure.
you start longboarding?
So I'm Jeremy, originally from Australia. I've been in China for almost 7 years now. So I have a few skateboard brands, mainly things like wheels and skateboard decks and some other things on the horizon. I've been skating since I was a kid. Always loved things that roll and go fast, and you know, anything that goes fast is always a lot of fun, and you know, dangerous things. So also a helicopter pilot as well. So
Helicopter pilot.
yeah, so just a bit of fun stuff.
Have you worked with the helicopters?
No, I've
Like a pilot?
I always wanted to fly since I was a kid, but because of my vision, I could never become a commercial pilot. So
It's just a hobby.
yeah, so as a hobby, I one day decided I wanted to learn how to fly a helicopter, so I did, and yeah, it's amazing. Such a great feeling.
Yeah. Another one I wanted to ask you about, what are you doing in China? We met you I meet you in Shenzhen, not in Australia,
That's
not
right.
in Russia, in Shenzhen. What are you doing here, and what are you working with?
So I've been based in China for, like I said, almost 7 years now, and so I originally our first brand was a wheel brand we brought out in 2016, and we originally were making our wheels in the US, but after some disagreements and not really happy with the way that they were making the wheels and not really having a lot of visibility, I decided to spend a lot of time and effort and research and development to make better wheels in China. So we spent almost 5 years kind of perfecting how to make really good wheels in China, new formulations, new methods to make the wheels, just like making them better overall. And you know, we ended up with a result that's kind of, you know, is on par, if not better, than what's coming out of the US.
It's good, actually. The wheels is good. We're already riding on your wheels in Russia.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, so I mean that's kind of, you know, why I've been in China, and it's, you know, China's always been something of an interesting country to me, and just seeing how much China has grown over the last, you know, 20, 30 years, and how much it continues to grow. Yeah, I'm amazed every day, and you know, I feel lucky to be here and get to experience all this. So that's why I'm in China.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
Maybe you just a little bit introduce your brands.
Sure.
I think you've got different brands.
Yeah, so we have a few different brands, and there's a few kind of top secret projects I can't talk about yet.
Okay,
but
top secret.
But so we have 88 Wheel Co. So this is our wheel brand that focuses more on kind of free ride, downhill type wheels. So we have a few dance, downhill and free ride wheels available on the market, and this brand is about 2 years old now, and we've done pretty well considering how young the brand is, and we have distribution all over the world. Like, you can get our wheels in Russia, you can get them in China, you know, they're available Korea, everywhere. So you know, you can walk into a skate shop and buy our wheels, and that's.
And this name is like so Chinese.
Yeah,
88
well, so 88
so
is
Chinese.
Chinese. It actually has two references. The original idea was, I don't know if you ever watched the movie Back to the Future.
Yeah, definitely.
Back to the Future, 88 miles an hour. That's the original reference where the 88 came from.
Okay.
But also, it has a double meaning because in Chinese, 8 is a symbol of good luck. So double 8, double good luck. You know?
Good luck.
Yeah. So that's kind of, and then our other brand, which is kind of where it all started, is Boa. So Boa is our brand that focuses more on kind
LDP
of
stuff,
LDP and electric boards. So wheels that are compatible with, you know, pretty much every electric skateboard on the market, but also wheels focused on like high performance, distance pushing.
It's a big chunk of chunky wheel.
Big wheels. So
it's not easy to find like big wheel like this.
Yeah,
anymore.
so we were like one of the first ones, actually the first one to make a wheel this size with this core, you know, back in 2016, and we're pretty lucky. We had a whole bunch of riders in New York that wanted to test it, and that was really the proving grounds to prove that the wheel could work, you know, over all kinds of terrain, because, you know, New York, the streets are pretty awful, and You know,
Yeah,
there's
I think
grates
New
and all
York
sorts
is-
of stuff. So if it can survive in New York, it can pretty much survive anywhere.
So the LDP marking is growing now?
Yeah, I mean, LDP is still a fairly niche kind of sport, but it is growing around the world. You've got, there's an organization in the US called the IDSA, which is basically runs all the LDP events across the US. So, and even there's now starting to expand outside of the US to other areas, like in Singapore, for example. They're just starting to do an event, and yeah, so it's definitely starting to grow, and you know, there's a lot of newcomers into the sport, and you know, it's definitely had probably, like, I'd say 20 to 30% growth sort of in the last 2 years. Considering COVID and everything, I think that's really kind of helped to elevate it, because people were, you know, trapped at home and nothing to do. So find a new sport,
definitely.
you know. So
In Russia, it was the same. Like after the COVID, like
Yeah.
everyone go out free,
Yeah.
and the
it's like, I'm
longboard.
free.
Yeah, longboard was a good,
Yeah.
the good sport, the good way for
Absolutely.
people, because it's not contacted. Yeah, like you're just doing yourself by yourself. You're not in contact with another person, and
So yeah, so I mean, we've been pretty lucky with the wheels. We've had a lot of success. You know, these wheels, the previous version of this took out the Broadway Bomb race in New York, which is like a kind of unsanctioned race through the streets of New York with traffic, and this came in first. This wheel came second, and then this wheel came third and fourth. So, you know, they're high performance wheels, and you know, we try to keep the cost as reasonable as possible. You know, like there's other brands that charge, you know, well in excess of $100 for a 90mm wheel, which we don't really agree with. So for us, it's not about making a cheap wheel. It's about making a wheel that's quality, but reasonable, that's attainable
quality,
for people.
yeah.
You know, because you don't want to price people out of the sport. That's the thing. If a wheel's too expensive, someone can't afford to start, and you know, then they end up with a subpar experience because they buy an even cheaper wheel. You know, so if you offer something that's affordable, it allows them to have a good experience whilst maintaining budget to be able to get into the sport. You know.
yeah, and I think the electric guys who's riding electric skateboards usually buying your wheels, because they've got this
They've
core.
got the Kegel core,
Kegel core is like with the holes. Yeah.
So I mean, this core originally, you know, the reason we kept this is because, you know, when we started making the wheels, we were using the original Kegel core, but you know, we didn't have that core in China, so we had to basically redraw it, and we made a few changes and optimizations that the original core didn't have. Things you can't.
It's different.
It's different on the
with
inside.
The Kegel.
Yeah, it's different on the inside.
Kegels,
Yeah. So on the inside is the difference in how it bonds to the wheel compared to the original Kegel, because one of the problems we found originally when we made these wheels is that the original US factory, because of the way the core is bonded, the wheels delaminated. So we had a number of wheels come off the core.
off the core. Yeah.
And you know, their response is, well, you know, too bad, kind of thing. So I was like, that's not right. So we you know, we decided to fix that.
But this core is like a standard, yeah, for electric skateboards.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of, I think, I mean, I don't want to boast, but I think, you know, after we released these wheels, you know, everyone suddenly started using the Kegel core for electric skateboards. So, you know, the original idea of this particular wheel was to bolt onto the boosted board, because at the time, you know, there was no other big wheels available for the boosted board, because you had the ABEC fly wheels, which is 107mm, but in order to run that wheel on a boosted board, you had to modify the board and do things to it. This you could just plug it in and do nothing to your board. So it's like, hey, there's an immediate market to sell it, and at the same time, for people that want to use it for distance pushing, it's like it's you know, two wins for that.
So maybe I have another one. The question that came out to me, like, what about the people who's using your wheels? Is like mostly in China or maybe abroad, or where?
We're actually in the last kind of, I'd say 12 to 18 months, we've had quite a significant growth in Europe, which is unexpected. So the European market has grown quite a lot for us. China market also growing, in Asia in general, but
just return to downhill.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a sticker to you. It's like my friend, Mr. Bandurka.
Mr. Bandurka.
Like you're calling him. Вова, привет. От тебя наклеечку передаю
Привет.
Джереми. That's a good sticker, and in Russian is right катать. Катать is just right. Just right, man. A good design, and I hope you will put it on your car.
I will definitely. I'll put it somewhere prominent. Don't you worry.
And yeah, he asked me to say hello to you. So yeah, just hello.
Привет.
Привет. Yeah. What about downhill? It's a lot of guys who's downhilling in China. How many went?
There's actually surprisingly large number of downhill and freeride riders in China, and a lot of them tend to be in like Hangzhou and Chengdu areas. So there's a lot of hills there, so there's a lot of places for guys to ride.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
Yeah.
Hangzhou is like the birth of the like the place for the longboarding. I think the longboarding, a lot of big companies, Chinese big companies, just grown in Hangzhou.
There's a big downhill event coming up in October. I think it's in Hangzhou, and that'll be really interesting. There was a LDP event in Beijing recently, a few months ago, and I think there was more than 280 riders at the event.
280 riders,
which is a pretty big deal for LDP. Like that's
it's crazy.
So
we've got some LDP events as well this summer. This LDP community is growing as well. Like we've got some guys. For someone is longboarding, is LDP. Is long distance pushing is like working. Like they like to just push and push and have.
Some guys just do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so fan of LDP. I like the cruising around the town, but I'm more like the aggressive cruising, not like the just straight cruising, but just more aggressive, doing more.
Well, riding just in a straight line isn't exactly fun, you know. Like you gotta carve, you gotta have a bit of fun, you know.
I know. It's definitely. It's like the same. I think with running. Yeah. Someone is like to run fast and the small. Like 100 meters or maybe 500 meters, but someone is like to run marathon,
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you to answer my questions.
Yeah, no
it's
problem.
Nice to talk with you in Shenzhen.
Yeah, it's my
pleasure.
Good.
The China is like the place we can meet.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not easy to go somewhere from Russia now, but in China, it's a good country that got good relationship.
Yeah.
And I like Chinese people, and
well, I hope the next interview is in Russia because
we'll definitely
hopefully come visit soon.
We're waiting you in Russia. It will be nice to meet you and having some vodka with you, and
absolutely.
we'll take with Mr. Bandurka.
We'll all have a drink together.
Cheers, mate.
Awesome.
На этом все. Это был небольшое интервью с Джереми, с хозяином 88 Wheels, Boa. And we forget about your LDP longboard.
There's some new stuff coming.
Итак, это еще не конец, мы добавим небольшое. Джереми делает новый бренд. How is it calling?
This is the Sundae skateboard. So this is a
Sundae skateboard.
This is kind of applying everything we've learned, you know, about manufacturing and making skate products for the last long time, and you know, again, offering something that's super high quality at a very affordable price. You know, we plan to retail the deck for about $115.
15 or 50?
115. Yeah.
115.
Yeah. So it's made of Canadian maple and fiberglass.
Fiberglass as well.
So it's 7-ply. This deck doesn't, but the production deck has two layers of fiberglass, 7 maple.
It's the drop through deck.
It's
and
a drop through deck.
Double drop.
Double drop. Yep. So symmetrical deck, double drop. The final one, we made some changes to avoid wheel bites, so you can run narrow trucks up to about 125 millimeters. So you can get a really close sort of rail match.
You can put the 19
90
wheels?
or 100. So with
100 is working as well?
Yeah, so with the 35-inch board, you can push the wheelbase out slightly and then put the 100 mil wheels on. So it's got adjustable wheelbase. So it'll come in 2 versions, a 34-inch that's slimmer for smaller riders, and then the 35-inch for bigger guys with big feet like me.
Yeah. So it will be more boards in this Sunday skateboards.
So there'll be a whole bunch of stuff coming out over the next couple of years. Brackets as well. Yeah, brackets.
I want to try with brackets.
Free ride, downhill stuff like.
Downhill board as well.
Yeah. we got a few things in the works. So.
Да, это было все, теперь точно все. It's okay now. Всем пока, подписывайтесь на канал, ставьте лайки. Если вам такой формат нравится, обязательно напишите в комментах. Say bye to the guys.
Goodbye. See you later.
Всем пока.